Today in this video we are going to study how to find the critical numbers of the functions applying the miscellaneous or appropriate rules of differentiation. So just to remind you, what are the critical numbers? The critical numbers are the points where the derivative of the function will be 0 or undefined. What do I mean by that? Look at this point. This is a sharp turn. Or look at this point. This is the smooth turn. Okay, so on every turn, when you make a tangent line, so for example, on this smooth turn, if you want to make a tangent line, the tangent line will be a straight horizontal line. Now the slope of a horizontal line is equals to 0. And what is meant by slope of tangent line? It means that the derivative of the function at this particular point. So let's suppose the name of this point is C. So f prime of C is equal to 0. Now similarly over here or over here, if we make a tangent line, the tangent line will be a straight horizontal line at this point, or this point. So the derivative of the function at these points is 0. So these are the critical numbers. Now look at this point. Focus on this point. So if you want to make a tangent line, so it's impossible to make a straight tangent line. So we will get a vertical line. So at this point, at the sharp turns, always the derivative, let's suppose it's C1. So at this point, the derivative is undefined, means you cannot take the derivative at this point, or the slope of the tangent line is undefined. And the function is not differentiable at this point. So whether it is a sharp turn or it is a smooth curve, at the top of the curves, whether it is the peak or the valley, the function's derivative is 0. So these are known as the critical numbers. Find the critical numbers of the function of the given quadratic function. So how to find the critical number? So the first thing is, the step number 1 is you take the derivative of the given function. So derivative of x square, bring the 2 at the floor, write the x as it is. From the derivative, from the power, subtract 1. So 2 minus 1 is 1. Plus, we know the derivative of 5x is 5. Now, after finding the derivative, set the equation equal to 0. Okay, every time you set the equation equal to 0 to solve for x. Now bring the 5 over on the other side. So plus 5 goes on the other side, becomes minus 5. And here we are left with 2x. Now to solve for x, divide both sides by the 2. So you will get x equals to negative 5 by 2 or negative 2.5. So this is the point where you will find a critical number. If you want to find out the y value at this point, so just replace this x value like negative 2.5 in the original question. Because f of x represents the y value. In the original question, in place of x, so minus 2.5 whole square plus 5 times 2.5 minus 1. So at this point, you will get a critical number. So at this y value, so let's try to solve over here. Solve it. So you will write here minus 2.5 whole square plus 5 times 2.5 minus 1. Write in the calculator and you will get 17.75. So f of 2.5 equals to 17.75, and these are the critical values. Let's try to solve the other question. So the first thing is, in order to find the critical number, you have to take the derivative of the function. Negative x cube. So bring the 3 on one side. So negative 3 times negative times 3 gives you negative 3x. From the power subtract 1, you will get 2. Plus 2 times 6, you will get 12. X from the 2 subtract 1, you will get 1. And the derivative of a constant number is 0. Now after solving this, what do? We set the equation equals to 0. Now you can solve it manually or you can use the calculator to factorize them. So let's use the calculator better to avoid any kind of mistake. In order to use the calculator, you will go to the mode 53, or if you are using another kind of scientific calculator, go to the mode and then from there go to the function, go to the equation, enter for the polynomial press the 2 and then the degree is 2, or the other calculator mode 53. Okay, so now you must know that whenever you will see the screen like that, right? So here ax is square, over here bx, and here c. So these are the three values you have to write. For the a value is -3. It is the coefficient written with the x square. The coefficient with the x will be termed as bx, will be written in the second column. It's 12. And the c value is the last constant number which is not over here. So you will write here 0. So you will get the answer -3, 12 and 0. You will get the two values of the x. One is x equals to 4 and the other is x equals to 0. So these are the two values where you will get the critical numbers equal to 0. Yani slope of the tangent line are 0 at these two x values. Now to find out the y value, you will write f of 4 equals to and f of 0 equals to. Put these values simultaneously in the original equation. Yani -4 cube plus 6 times 4 is square plus 2 equals to. Similarly, -0 cube plus 6 times 0 is square plus 2. So write the first equation in the calculator. Write the first equation in the calculator. -4 cube plus 6 times 4 is square plus 2. You will get 34. And the second value is 2. So these are the two critical numbers. So here is another question. X to the power of 4 minus 3x cube plus 2. So the first step is you have to take the derivative. So if f prime of x equals to, if you apply the power rule, bring the power in the at the bottom, that is 4, then write the x from the power, subtract 1. So 4 minus 1 is 3, minus multiply the coefficient with the power. So 3 times 3 is 9. X from the power, subtract 1. So you will get the 2. And the derivative of a constant number is 0. Now set the equation equals to 0. Now what you have to do, once you set the equation equals to 0, you go to the scientific calculator. If you have the scientific calculator, then go to the mode 5 and 4. Why mode 5 and 4? Because mode 5, 4 deals with the cubic function. Or if you have another graphic calculator, so in that case, go to the menu and then go to the equation and then F2, F1. Or if you have another calculator scientific in which you will have the menu, so go to the menu, then equation, and then 2, that is the polynomial, and then again 3, which is the degree 3. So this 2, it means that you are dealing with the polynomial functions, and this 3, it means that the degree is 3. Now write in the calculator. So you will on the screen, on your calculator screen, such a screen is appear. So here you have ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d. So the coefficient with the x cube in your case is 4, then make it equal. The coefficient with the x square is -9. So write with the sign. There is no x value, so 0, and there is no constant value, so it is 0. Right? And then you will get the answer as x equals to 0 and x equals to 9 over 4. Why 2 answer instead of 4? Because the 0 has a multiplicity of 2 and x has a 9 by 4 has a multiplicity of 2. Now to get the y value, just put these two values in the original equation. So write here f of 0 equals to 0 to the power of 4 minus 3 times 0 cube plus 2. So answer is 2. Now write f of 9 by 4 to get the value of y at 9 by 4. It will be 9 by 4 whole cube minus 3 to the 9 by 4 whole to the power of 3 plus 2, and better write it in the calculator. Make sure that you write whatever you write in the bracket. So 9 by 4 whole to the power of 4, then you have minus 3, and then again write 9 by 4, close the bracket, and power is 3, and then plus 2. So you will get negative 6.54. So the answer is negative 6.54. So here are the two answers of critical, or here are the two critical points. Next question. F of x equals to x to the power of 3 by 4 minus 4x to the power of 1 by 4. So the first thing, as I told you, the first thing is take the derivative. Bring the power as an coefficient. So write 3 by 4 x to the power of 3 by 4 minus 1. So you will get minus 1 over 4 minus multiply 4 times 1 by 4. You will get 1. No need to write the 1, and then x to the power 1 over 4 minus 1, you will get negative 3 over 4. So now what you have to do, you have to set the equation equals to 0. So look at this. This has to be done manually. So you will write here 3 by 4 x to the power of negative 1 by 4 minus 1 x to the power of minus 3 by 4 equals to 0. Now look at this. There are two powers. One is 3 by 4. One is 3 by 4, which if you write it in the calculator, and you will see that what does it means. 3 by 4 means negative 0.75. Okay, so I'm just showing you that this has a power negative 0.75, and this has a power negative 1 over 4 means negative 0.25. I'm writing this just to show you that which of these fraction is smaller if they have a negative sign. So of course negative 3 by 4 is the smaller fraction. Okay, so what do? You take the negative 3 by 4 as a common factor. So take x to the power of negative 3 by 4 as a common factor. So understand this thing. For example, if I have x to the power of 3 minus x to the power of 2. So what is actually we do? We take the least power as a common factor. So x to the power of 2 is a common factor. Here, what does it mean? It means you have the 2x, and here you have the 3x. So the 2x are the common factor. So you took it as a common factor outside the bracket. Now what do you do? This power, yani 3 minus 2. How much left? 1 power left. So you write x to the power of 1. Minus, here x to the power of 2 is outside, so only left 1. So you write it like this. So this is the procedure how you take the common factor. Apply this procedure over here. First of all, you have to decide that which power is the least power. Is it negative 0.25 or negative 0.75? So in case of negative 0.75 is our least power. But you don't write negative 0.75. You have to write negative 3 by 4. Okay. Now you have left from here, what is left? 3 by 4 left, right? X to the power. What is left? Negative 1 by 4. Look, negative 1 by 4, which is here, minus What is outside? Minus 3 by 4. This is just, I am trying to write it for you to make your life easier. It is left 3 by 4 x to the power of minus 1 by 4 minus minus plus 3 by 4. Right? So minus 1 by 4 plus 3 by 4 means 2 by 4, which is 1 over 2. You can write in the calculator and get it in the answer. Now negative 1. This x to the power of negative 3 by 4, it's already outside, so no need to write anything. Okay, equals to 0. Okay, so minus 1 equals to 0. Okay, now let's see what is happening over here. So one time this factor equals to 0. So you can write here x to the power of negative 3 by 4 equals to 0, or x equals to 0. Right? This is the first factor. Now second factor is negative 3 by 4 x to the power of half minus 1 equals to 0. Bring the negative 1 on the other side. So we will get 3 by 4 x to the power of half equals to negative 1 goes on the other side, becomes positive 1. Divide both sides by 3 by 4. 3 by 4 and here also 3 by 4. So you will get 4 by 3. So x to the power of half equals to 4 by 3. X to the power of half. I need the x value, not the half. Okay. So I multiply it by 2 and here also I will take the square. So this cancel out. So x equals to 4 by 3 whole square means 16 by 9. So these are the two factors. Those are the two critical numbers. Now you put these values in the original equation to get the y value. Next question, what have you seen that here you have a rational function. Now, what do you mean by rational function? Rational function means that that whenever there is an x in the denominator, so find out the value that value is either a whole discontinuity, either it will be a whole or a vertical asymptote. So the denominator should not be equals to 0. So first of all, find out the domain of this function. Means the value where this value will be undefined. So you can write it as x plus 2 equals to 0, which means the denominator should not be equals to 0. Solve it. So x not equals to negative 2. So what is the domain? All real numbers except negative 2. Why? Because at negative 2 you will have the discontinuity. I need this because at negative 2 I should not have a critical number. Now what is the first step? We have to take the derivative of the function. It's the quotient rule. You will apply the quotient rule because it's a fraction. So the numerator, name it as f, and denominator, name it as g. So what is the formula? F prime g minus f g prime over g square. Okay, f prime means the derivative of x square minus 2 will be 2x. G is the denominator, write it as it is, minus f is the numerator, that is x square minus 2. And g prime the derivative of denominator, which is 1. And over g square, it means x plus 2 whole square. Keep the denominator as it is. No need to solve it because it's a discontinuity actually. Open the bracket using the distributive property. 2x times x gives us 2x square. 2x times plus 2 gives us plus 4x. Minus x square, because minus 1 times minus 1x square, minus minus plus 2. Now 2x square minus x square gives us x square plus 4x plus 2 divided by x plus 2 whole square. Now what is the second step? Set the equation equals to 0. When you set the equation equal to 0, cross multiply. So the denominator multiplied by 0 gives you 0. So you are left with only numerator x square plus 4x plus 2 equals to 0. Now go to the equation. Go to the equation F2, F1 or menu, okay, mode 5-3 or menu equation F2 and then again 2 because you have a quadratic equation. So you will write 1, then you will write 4 and then you will write 2. And the answer is negative 2 plus root 2. So x equals to negative 2 plus root 2 and the x2 is equals to negative 2 minus root 2. So one by one put these values in the original equation to get your y value. Next question, same rational function. The first thing is whenever you deal with a rational function, find the domain to find the discontinuity. Because whenever you have a discontinuity, those discontinuities are not critical numbers. So write the denominator and make it not equal to 0. Bring the negative 1 here, so x not equals to positive 1. So your domain is all real numbers except plus 1. Means on the 1 you have a discontinuity, not the critical number. Even if you get the answer as a positive 1, you will consider it as a discontinuity. Okay. Now take the derivative. So here is a quotient rule. Here you will apply the quotient rule because it's a rational function. The numerator will be termed as f and the denominator as g. So what is the formula? Formula is f prime g minus fg prime over g square. F prime. So derivative of x square is 2x minus derivative of x is 1. Keep it in the brackets. And g is x minus 1 minus f is x square minus x plus 4. And g prime, derivative of g prime is 1. Over g square. Don't do anything with the g value. Just keep it in the square. It's a discontinuity. Open the bracket to simplify. So 2x times x, 2x square. 2x times negative 1, negative 2x. Negative 1 times x is negative x. Then negative 1 times negative 1 gives us positive 1. Now multiply the whole term with the negative. So you will get negative x square, negative times negative, positive x, negative times positive, negative 4. Whole upon x minus 1 whole square. 2x square, now combine the like sums. 2x square minus x square gives us x square. Minus 2x and this is minus x and plus x cancel out, so only left minus 2x. Plus 1 and minus 4 gives us negative 3 divided by x minus 1 whole square. Set the equation equals to 0. Cross multiply. So the denominator x minus 1 whole square multiplied by 0 gives us 0. So we are left with only the numerator. Now write in the calculator, okay, and factor it. So you are going to write it as 1 minus 2 and minus 3. So you will get x equals to 3 and x equals to negative 1. X equals to 3 and x equals to negative 1. It's not positive 1, it's negative 1. So both are the critical numbers. Now one by one you put it in the original question to get the y values. So next question is the radical question, the square root function. But before taking the derivative, the first step, take the derivative. You have the first function, that is f, 2x is the f, and the second function named it as a g. So the formula, product rule, f prime g plus f g prime. Your f prime, okay, so derivative of 2x is 2 and g stay as it is, that is x plus 1 plus f is 2x, stay as it is, and g prime. If you remember, the derivative of square root is 1 over 2 root u and then u prime. So for the derivative of this x plus 1 is your u. So 1 over 2 and whatever in the square root stay as it is, and derivative of x plus 1 is 1. So no need to write 1 even. Okay, so now you will have 2 square root of x plus 1 plus 2x, and 1 times 1 is 1, divided by 2 and 2 also cancel, so only left x. So only left x divided by square root of x plus 1. Now solve it. To solve it, remember you have to make the denominators alike. So here it is 1 and here is square root of x plus 1. So make them alike, which means that this one will be multiplied by this factor, that is square root of x plus 1. Denominator and numerator. Okay, so you will write here 2. Now there are two square roots. So remember, if you have square root of x and square root of x, it gives us what? Only x. Why? Because square root means the power is half. So square root of x square means this x square and this cancel out. So the answer is x. So square root of x plus 1 is square root of x plus 1 gives us only x plus 1. Plus, now here there is nothing or 1. So it's already you have the 1 over here. So only the x. Write the denominator only one time. Open the bracket. Open the bracket. So 2x plus 2 times 1 is 2 plus x. Okay. Over square root of x plus 1 equals to 0. Now cross multiply and make the denominator equals to 0. Multiply the denominator multiply by 0 gives you 0. Okay, now over here 2x plus x gives us 3x and plus 2 equals to 0. Bring the 2 here. So 3x equals to negative 2 and divide both sides by the 3, x equals to negative 2 by 3. But before solving this one, I will tell you one more thing. The most important thing. When you look here, when you started the question, you saw that the question has a square root. Now, in order to write the domain of the square root, why do we need it? Because if I put here any number less than negative 1. Let's suppose if I write here negative 3. So this will make the function undefined. So we have to write the domain because of this square root function. So you must remember that square root of f of x. So in order to write the domain of any function which is written under the square root, the domain should be greater equals to 0. What do I mean? That the function which is written inside the square root x plus 1 should be greater and equals to 0. Means bring the 1 over here. So x should be greater and equals to negative 1. Any number which is less than negative 1 will not be acceptable. Will not be acceptable. Remember this thing. Yani whatever your number, whatever you are going to be, whatever your answer will be, okay, whatever your critical number will be, it should be greater than negative 1. And negative 2 by 3 by the way is greater than negative 1. So yes, it is your critical number.